my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dani, and this is my hat. No, this is Coffee Break with Dani. Today we are here with a ladies night in / Dear Dani girl talk video. We do these probably 4 times a year, sometimes a little bit more. Today we're in our kitchen because we're gonna have a special guest sitting with us. So Parker's gonna join us in a second, but not before we thank JuneShine for sponsoring this video. You guys know our sponsors love to come back for seconds and thirds and fourths, and that's just how we roll. You know what? This hat is making me look dark, like shadowy dark. Is that okay? Are we okay with it? Let's vote. Do we like hats? Are we going for hats? Is hats a thing? I don't know. All right, today we're going to thank our sponsor JuneShine for sponsoring this ladies night in with our special guest, Pragmatic Parker. He's gonna join us because he has a much more lightweight, easier, light energy, no fuss, no muss, logical reasoning. Like, that's just how his brain works. And my brain is like a squirrel on roller skates at the amusement park after eating cotton candy and having a JuneShine. You know, that's just how my brain works. And so we make a pretty good combo, if I do say so myself. But you guys want to hear about JuneShine. JuneShine is a hard kombucha. No, not a spiked kombucha. It is a hard kombucha with naturally fermented alcohol. You're saying, you know what, Dani, I'm not a kombucha person. Oh, trust me, not everyone is a kombucha person, but I think everyone can be a JuneShine person. So what we're gonna feature today in this video is their best-selling variety pack. I got smart this time. I drank all of the kombucha before lifting up this heavy box. You know, I learned after like 7 integrations, I learned consume it first and then show them the empty boxes. So I will have a promo in the description box below where you guys can try JuneShine, their best-selling variety pack, for 20% off. The code will be Coffee Break like it always is. All the information will be listed and linked in the description box for you. But why JuneShine? JuneShine is an awesome brand because not only is their brewery 100% solar powered, all of their products are ethically sourced, and it tastes good. You guys, I'm at an age where I don't need to justify when and how I drink and how often I drink, but I am at an age where I regret drinking so much. So if I can drink a better for you alcohol, something that's better for my gut, something that has probiotics in it, doesn't make me feel gross, gassy, bloated, or yucky the next day, sign me up. So that's why we're here. We're gonna talk about JuneShine, but I actually wanna do the taste test with my co-pilot for today's video. So Pragmatic Parker, you ready?
I'm ready.
Enter stage right. Left. So you know we love each other because we survived a complete kitchen renovation and are still married. You like my hat? Tell
Your body even got hurt.
Tell the truth.
Yes.
He's actually not lying. When he's lying, it's so obvious.
I can't lie.
I cannot.
Terrible lie. So just don't do it.
Now I'm just gonna do this the rest of the video.
It's a good thing we're both not wearing hats.
It's true.
It's only room for one hat in this relationship.
I don't want to bump you, Parker, so I'm gonna... Is that better? It's lighter, right? Like,
Yeah,
the lighting's a little better?
Yeah, we can move around now.
How do we
This
feel
is
about
good.
that?
Sweet.
Oh, you're trying to get close to me.
Always.
See what it's doing? It's a trick. It's all a trick. All right, so we are going to start off with our favorite flavor. We'll taste it throughout the video and we'll answer your questions. So usually these videos are questions for me, in this case us. They are anonymous rants or confessions, or sometimes it's an advice question. So they ask us for advice. I usually answer, but because I'm the pit bull friend that like swings first and then asks questions, I thought it would be really helpful if we have Parker with his Superman hair. I was gonna say Batman. With the Superman hair to answer it in a more, you like it, don't you? Like you tell him to leave it longer. So with his more logical, pragmatic, like I said, he's just sensible. He keeps you out of jail.
It's logical.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm
don't
gonna
make it
start.
complicated.
May need to interrupt this video with some physical violence.
Well,
Just
I mean,
kidding.
present company.
Loving,
Of course.
loving violence.
Which one are you gonna drink?
My favorite is the Midnight Painkiller. Oh God, you guys, I mean, it's no surprise. Midnight Painkiller, it tastes like pineapple. It's just light, airy. Look at this. Nothing fake in here either, you guys. There's no artificial dyes. There's no fake stuff. So it's it's a good way of justifying drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? Whoa. Wow. That one really wanted to get open.
Tropical citrus. Am I pronouncing that right? Tropical?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this one.
Like hops.
It's got all my favorite
tropical.
things in it. Yeah, it's got
funny.
It's a nice color too. Like that.
You have a fan.
Yeah.
Wesley's down there. He's like, all right. Oh, cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm already like 5 questions in.
Savage.
All right. So we're going to answer a few of your questions. Super random. I kind of skimmed through them, but I haven't picked any. I intentionally didn't read any to him because I'm an overthinker. He invented overthinking.
I'll Google it
and
get some advice on YouTube.
Yeah, it'll be a very long answer. So we want to catch him like Johnny on the spot. Just see what his answer is, because when he gives you a gut answer, like boom, it's like, oh wow, why didn't I think about that? All right, so you ready for this?
Yes, let's do it. Disclaimer, I don't give good advice. So
Parker with Dani wants to know, what does pragmatic mean?
I had to Google it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I Googled
okay,
it.
so what'd you learn?
It's not as bad as I thought.
It's not bad. It's not a bad
No,
word.
it just says I approach things in a logical way.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Logical and sensible. That's me.
Logical and sensible. That's why we're together.
That's the box I live in.
He keeps me out of prison. So we're going to answer your questions. These will be anonymous, so don't worry. Parker will know, and then we'll look, and then we'll see if you have pets on your account, but we won't say who you are. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Oh, are you sure? I have 2 bonus kids. We want 1 more. I'm scared I will treat the baby differently. Advice?
Well,
You will.
That's okay.
You will. I think when you reframe your thinking where you understand you are not your bonus kids' parents.
That's right.
There will be differences.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be disparaging differences, but it will be different. I treat my kids differently than Parker's daughters. He treats the girls different than the boys. I just think
Well, as a
be careful.
Well, you kind of have to have an agreement with your co-parent on how you're going to raise your kids, and you have to honor that to a certain degree. And then you also have to honor your kids being
Combined.
your home with their bonus parents. So it's not. I already spilled.
You spilled everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Cut.
Pardon that brief interruption. We just wasted some JuneShine.
Butterfingers.
Crime. That is a crime. All right.
Where were we?
Where were we? She is scared or nervous that she will treat her baby differently.
Yeah, you will, and that's okay.
See how he's like unfazed? Like the stuff that we as women or moms worry about, it's not something that is forefront for them. It's a fact. You will treat your baby differently. Not better, not worse, differently.
Yeah, different. I mean, every kid needs to be treated a little bit different anyway, based on their personality. So
That's
don't
true.
overthink it. Just be fair and consistent, and
Love
the kids
them.
will be good.
Just love them. Love all of them, and they'll know. And I don't think I think it's exciting. Can you send us baby pictures?
Are you local?
Can I hold your baby?
Are you local? Can Dani hold your baby?
What do you guys disagree about the most? Ready? 1, 2, 3, kids. It's a thing. If you're a blended family, you know, whether it's budget or activities or I went too hard, you went too soft, I went too hard. Did you notice? Did you not know? You never notice. You always notice. But it's just kids. Mm-hmm. We don't, all the other problems that usually marriages have, like money. What's the other one? Attention? No.
Money, fidelity, time.
None of that stuff has ever been a big, it's just always kids.
Yeah, kids are a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're both perfectionists.
yeah, and they're always going to be a challenge, and there's always going to be back and forth about it. It's just with the way co-parenting is and blending families.
Yeah, and it's tough too, because when you have kids of your own, you have 2 grown-ups, 2 opinions, but when you blend a family, there's 4. There's 4 grown-ups, and so it's like walking on eggshells sometimes, or you want to do a good job and you don't want to overstep, or you overstepped and then you're trying to, it's always good.
Like what do I want? What does my my partner want?
Mm-hmm.
What does my co-parent want?
Yeah.
And you got to try to find a way to respect all those if you can. It's not easy. It's a challenge.
This one's for you. Does Dani only eat half of her meals or watch what she eats purposely to stay thin? Tell the truth.
I think she's just conscious of what she eats and how it makes her feel after. It's like some things she'll eat a lot of. Like, man, we go in and out, she'll take out 2 burgers and 2 fries. But if we order some chicken wings like we did last night, she'll eat 4. So I can't really, it's hard to say. No, I don't think she eats to keep her figure.
Yeah, I think the best way I could describe it is I'm an intuitive eater. So I don't omit things from my diet and I don't watch what I eat. But I remember how certain things make me feel, so I try not to overdo it. When I eat chicken wings, I burp for the next like 2 weeks and it makes me feel gross, like literally gross. So I ate 4 wings, all the fries, all the crudité they give you, but then after I ate 2 popsicles. You know, so it's not so much what or how much I eat as much as how it makes me feel, and that's just kind of how I go.
Intuitive is a good way to, yeah.
Like, hey, I want a banana right now. I'm going to tear up my banana. You know, I really want this, and we'll make it. He makes it happen. You know, like what was the last thing that I was like, oh, I really want to eat, and you're like, get in the car, let's do it.
Oh yeah.
So no, I don't watch what I eat. I really don't. It's catching up with me though, so I can't. I gotta stop bragging. I'm a nurse. I work long hours. My hubby works a union job. He complains that I'm never home. COVID is driving up travel nurse rates back up. I want to take an assignment and make money. He won't support it because then he will have to take more responsibility at home. Am I wrong to be mad and annoyed, or am I putting money over my family?
COVID has made everything harder. Everything. That's like when you plan your day or you start to think about doing something, you start with COVID. You know, how does COVID affect this? So I feel for you. I know what that's like. As far as the husband, I mean, as you go through these relationships, there's an ebb and tide. You know, it's like things flow backwards and forwards, and the weight of the household can go back and forth, where someone has to carry the load a little bit more than the other person has to carry a load, and it's always temporary and it's only for a while. I kind of agree with you. Why that's upsetting. I think that you know, the thing you do have
there's a sacrifice. If you want to get on top of something, if you want to get a surplus of something, there will always be a sacrifice. So I think with all the negativity around this pandemic and all the suffering and all the sadness and all the pain, if you're able to turn this into something positive that helps your family, like giving you a little bit more income, and you feel safe doing so, I think it's a bonus. And I think that, like I told you guys in a vlog, where relationships aren't 50-50, sometimes they're 60-40, sometimes they're 80-80, sometimes they're 100-0. Like, that's the whole point of having a teammate, is when I can't do my part, he picks up the slack for me. When he can't do his part, I pick up the slack for him. If you can turn this maybe dark season in life that we're all going through into something positive where you come up on top, I say you take it.
Yeah, I always try to remind myself, everything is temporary. So maybe the next time you have the conversation about this, you can explain, like, this is not going to be forever. This is going to be for this amount of time. And I need you to help me out for this certain amount of time. And we can make it up after. Nothing's forever. And sometimes from a male's perspective, things the moment we're in sometimes feels like that's the way life is going to be from now on. And we have to remind ourselves that everything is temporary. This is only for a moment, and things are going to change. So maybe the next time you talk about it, say, hey, I know it's going to be a sacrifice, but it's only for this amount of time. And we'll be this much better off
and
at the end of it.
Awesome for all of us. You know, it's not just income for you, it's for the whole family. Maybe we could take a vacation once this whole craziness is over.
Yeah, there you go. Sell it that way. It's like, you may be missing me for a while, but we'll make up for it in some special time together.
Yeah, and add bleach to the socks, please don't forget. You know. How do you keep your relationship out of other people's influence or opinions? We don't have that problem, do we?
I don't understand the question.
Like, people having a say about our relationship, our parents, our friends, that we should do this, we shouldn't do that, this is wrong, or whatever. Like, how do we keep other people's opinions from causing a damper on our relationship? But we don't
well,
have
you
like
just-
nosy in-laws or.
Well, you just nip that in the bud. I mean, but if someone tries to get in your business, it's like, hey, we're married and we're going to do what we think is best, and that's it. And you can go along with it or not.
I don't know. I think it just goes hand in hand with, do you really care what people think? I think we've gotten to the age in life where we're like, you know?
Hey, you're grown and you're married. You're in charge of your own destiny.
I think the only opinion at this point that matters to me is Parker. You saw me. Do you like my hat? Do I look pretty? Otherwise, I'm like, All right, since Parker spilled his initial JuneShine, we're gonna try a new flavor. This
Why
is
not?
just part of the gig. I bet he spilled it on purpose. He was like,
Well, I did have my eye on this blood orange mint.
that one's really good.
It is good.
It's very refreshing. It's lightweight. I love how minty it tastes. Not synthetic mint, like when you pop a mint, like actual mint from like your garden.
That's pretty fun.
That's a pretty color.
You can't beat this stuff for summer. You really can't. This hard kombucha.
Yeah, it's very lightweight. It's fresh. It's like, what's the word? Refreshing. Refreshing is the word.
Well, it's like you get tired of your choices, like beer or liquor, you know, or cocktails. You're like sick of both, so you need something different. This is the way to go.
Mix it up.
Yeah, so much better than seltzer.
This is a heavy one.
Oh, no.
What's the biggest change of both of you since you have been together? You can think about it. It's going to take you a while, I think. Do you know one off your head? Off the top of your head? No. Okay.
Yeah, being selfish. I mean, you got to stop. It's like when I was single, all I had to worry about was me, and of course, you know.
But that was an
my
adjustment.
kids.
I think I had to call him out a few times. I was like, oh, there it is. It's self-indulgence. Of course you're good at it. And then he was like, oh, shoot. And it wasn't nefarious. Like, when I tell you there is not a bad bone, evil bone, toxic bone, negative bone in his body for others, like, there is not bad intention. And so calling him out on something that makes him feel like a villain is like, I know you're not doing it to be mean, but it's still not good, you know? And he was like, oh, I didn't realize. But yeah, he was pretty selfish. Like, it was all self-indulgence. And I would say for me, it's, I never realized I didn't know how to apologize, and I'm still working on it. Like, I'm still like a C+. Like, I still have a lot of room for improvement, but I just never thought I didn't apologize. I never realized I never apologized. And once I was supposed to, when I was held accountable to apologize, I didn't know how. Because what I was doing wasn't an apology. I learned it in therapy. I learned why in therapy, but I'm still working on it. So it's kind of embarrassing to say that almost 40, I didn't know how to apologize, because I've never experienced what an apology is. Like, my parents never apologized to me. I didn't grow up with anyone apologizing to me. And then I was in an almost 10-year marriage where I'm sorry meant I'm sorry until I do it again. So an apology is like, it had zero value, right? It's a good way of describing it. Like, it didn't carry value. It didn't mean anything. So I was like, well, if you're gonna apologize, just don't do it again. You know, it's like the best apology is change behavior. But I didn't realize I was the one that needed to do the apologizing. Sam told me to. When I was like, can you believe Parker this? I don't know how to apologize. And she's like, you don't. And I'm like, oh crap. All right, so moving on.
Love you, Sam.
Moving on.
But yeah, we're both working on it, and it's going to take time. You know, you can't expect someone in a relationship to just flip a switch and be exactly what you need. It takes time. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they start doing better, but they relapse.
Yeah.
You know, patience.
It's true. Relapse is such a hard way of saying it, but it's true. Any couples communication tips?
Yes, talk. Whether it's good or bad, use your voice.
Even if you think it's stupid.
Yeah, and even if you think it's
they
going
don't get to decide if it's stupid.
even if you think it's going to make it worse, like you will never make any progress unless you use your words. Doing silent treatment or doing
like you know me.
like giving digs, you know, like out of the blue.
These are all digs right now, you guys,
Yes.
for the record.
No, I'm a digger. I know I will get frustrated about something,
He is
not
snarky.
say anything
He
about
is
it,
so snarky.
and then I'll
He'll
make
be
this
like,
a real snide mark like 3 days after the thing.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, you gotta talk, and it's not going to be comfortable or even productive at first. But it's like the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So just keep practicing. And we're still working on it. We're not. I'm not saying we're God's gift of communication, because we're not. But if you don't talk, if you don't use your words, it's never going to get better.
Yeah.
So even if you're worried about saying the wrong thing, start talking.
Yeah. That's a good point, is say the wrong thing, but keep talking.
Yeah. Because
he and I do this thing where we say something and then I hear myself and I'm like, don't say anything yet. Let me re-explain, you know, but open the door. Huge. It's huge. And don't be trigger happy, you know, don't jump on the other person. Give them the opportunity to talk. I would get really frustrated with Parker because he can't think on the spot. I do my best thinking on the spot in that moment if I'm not angry.
I gotta process.
He has to process. And so I would be talking to him about something that really hurt my feelings and he's like, stone, nothing. And I would take that the wrong way. And it was just, he was filing it, processing it. Another thing that I would say, did he say communication specifically, or did he say, yeah, communication tips? Know how your partner communicates. And just because they communicate a certain way, you can't get them to communicate the way you want them to. This is like your love languages. Like, I give love, like my love is acts of service or gifts. That's how I can naturally, like innately give love. That's not how he receives it. So it's not fair for me to be like, well, I gave you a present. So the same thing is with communication.
Yeah, I don't care about the present. I can't expect him. I want the hug.
Yeah, I can't expect him to communicate the way I want him to, but I can expect him to communicate.
Yeah.
You are allowed to demand that from your partner.
Yeah, what I've learned, it's not about changing your partner. It's about learning more about your partner. And learning about where this is coming from, you know, and understanding where it's coming from. And then that kind of helps you lead toward communication, actually getting your meaning across. Changing, if you're going to try to change your partner, I just don't see it.
It's not going to be successful.
It's not
even
if
they do change, it's not going to be permanent.
Don't change your partner. Learn about your partner, and that'll get you somewhere.
Yeah. I'm in a wonderful, healthy, loving relationship. I've put on like 20 pounds. I love my guy, but hate my body.
You know, your body's going to change throughout your life. And it's
for you.
Yeah.
It boils down to you. Like, you being in a loving, healthy relationship has nothing to do with how you feel about your body. They're exclusive, like they're separate. So
I guarantee you might have put on 20 pounds. He still sees you.
That's what I was getting at.
He still sees you the same way the day he met you. That's his mental perception of you is when he met you. He will never see you in another way. That's how guys' minds work.
However, if you feel a certain way about yourself, that's bleeding into your day. That's bleeding into your mood. That's bleeding into your behavior. That's bleeding into your purchases. That's bleeding into everything. It's bleeding into his day. So they are separate. You being in a loving, healthy, amazing, delicious relationship is great. But if you have this thing that's bothering you about you and you're in control of doing something about it, do it. Because eventually it will make you act a way that is not organic to who you are, and how he fell in love with you. So I think it's very important to be self-aware that, hey, my behavior and my attitude about how I feel at this moment will bleed into everyone's day. Like for me, I can speak about me, the kids, the dogs at home. When one of my dogs is sick, how does that interfere with our day?
No, a lot. 100%.
You know, and so it's just one of those things where if you don't feel good about yourself, you don't feel happy with the way you look, you don't feel sexy, hot, or whatever, like the way you met, do something about it, because it will start to interfere with your relationship.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. Don't worry so much about how he perceives you.
Yes.
Don't worry about that. That's really not a factor. Don't concern yourself with it. I have always battled with my body weight.
Yes.
I'm constantly back and forth. I'm constantly fluctuating.
And it affects his mood.
Yeah, it does.
So much.
But if you're not happy with yourself, do something about it. It could be a big or it could be really small. Just change something. And as soon as you start addressing it, you will feel better about yourself.
And be transparent too with him. Be like, hey, listen, I've gained 20 pounds. Don't ask him for his opinion. Don't ask him for how he feels about it or what he thinks or how I look, because he's gonna be like, babe, you look the same, I still love you. No, but say, hey, let's work on it together. Can you support me?
Yes, big deal. Support. Hey, I wanna go to the gym. Go to the gym. You know, hey, it's in the calendar that you're going to the gym.
Can you help me be my, can you be my accountability partner?
Right.
You know, but don't base the way you feel about how others feel about you. That's not healthy. But if I'm sure, like what he said, he probably doesn't even notice or doesn't even care or doesn't. But the minute you change the way you're behaving because you don't feel happy anymore,
they're gonna think
then he will care.
He's gonna think it's his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just creates bigger problems when it's really simple. It's something that you guys can do together.
But trust me, he still thinks you look exactly the same. As
He
when
has
fell
this
in love
theory.
with you.
I don't believe this theory.
It's true.
I don't believe it. He has
It's
this
true.
theory where the first impression of that
Ask your
minute he
husband.
met you is engraved into their brain, their heart, their mind. It's like this sculpture, it's on a stone tablet. I don't believe it.
Oh, it's true. It's like,
Maybe it's a guy thing.
yeah, because when
It's
she
not
goes
for
like,
girls.
look at this, look at my, look. I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. You look exactly the way you do when I first met you.
How about now?
It's like memory implanting or something.
He likes
Sure,
those
there's-
science
there's-
movies.
There's got to be a
He
sign.
says the
I'm going to
science
Google
movie.
it later. Hey Siri.
This is a good one. Dear Dani, why does clothes go next to the hamper and not in it? I don't know, Parker. Why does it?
Mine go on the edge. Go on the edge because they're not quite dirty enough to go in. It's like if you wear a shirt, but you only wear it for a couple hours. Say I come home and shower, and then we're up for 2 or 3 hours and we go to bed. It's not dirty yet. It hasn't had enough hours on it. So you hang it on the edge of the hamper because you may wear it the next day.
What about on the floor? What
On the
does that
floor?
mean?
I don't do that, so I can't help you. I can't help you there.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't go into the closet as often as I would like because I get triggered. He does this whole, we have 2 hampers. And this is one of those things where you develop hacks as a healthy couple that doesn't make sense to anyone else. It makes sense to you and it keeps you married. Like we have his and her hampers because it was just something that would cause us fights. So now we have his and her hampers and you have my cute little hamper. They're the same hamper, by the way. It's nice and pretty and the clothes is on the inside of it. And then his, it's foiled, layers of propped clothes that will live there for 3 weeks until he does his laundry.
Different.
And it triggers me,
different
but it's not my
stages.
business.
Different stages of dirty.
It's not my business.
It's a guy thing.
So I
There's a lot
walk
of
away.
guys. Yeah.
Walk away. You know what, girls? Sometimes you just have to walk away.
Stay out of my laundry business.
That's a good,
That's a t-shirt for
do
you.
you wash his clothes? Do you share a hamper? If you would like to stay happily married, buy him his own hamper and have him do his own laundry. We're still married. He does his own laundry.
Yeah.
It took us a while and a really big fight, but he does his own laundry now and we're together still. So maybe get him his own hamper. How about a lightweight one, a light-hearted one? How long did it take for y'all to fart in front of each other? 5 minutes?
Do you fart?
I don't think I've ever farted in front of Parker.
Only in her sleep.
And his laughing wakes me up. And I'm like, why are you laughing? He's like, and then the next morning he's like, because you farted.
It's the only fart that'll ever happen in front of me. It's got to happen in her sleep.
I'm not like a whole gender roles, the lady doesn't fart. I don't like farts in general. Even when the dogs fart, I'm like, rude, gross.
Which is constant. all the
Daniel
time.
farts every hour. It's gross. I don't like farts. We're talking about poo. It really hurts my feelings.
Yeah, you're sensitive about poo.
All right, honey ginger lemon.
Yes, let's change subjects.
Parker doesn't fart intentionally in front of me like a lot of guys do. They just let it rip. No, but he also doesn't hide it. So if he knows I'm in the other room, he'll still do it. And you could hear it upstairs. So he's not trying to hide it. He did fart where he thought I was asleep and I wasn't, and I heard him, and we had just started dating, and he was like,
I thought you were asleep.
he was sheet white. he's pale, but like the color's drained from his life. And I just started laughing. I'm like, so what? He farted. Like, what's the big deal, you know? But he had already planned his funeral already. He's so embarrassed. So I don't think it has anything to do with the amount of time or how comfortable you feel. I think it's just how comfortable you feel farting.
Has a lot to do with your sense of humor too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
I never find it funny, ever. Like, I think it's gross.
So I don't do it.
But that's true. If you found it funny.
Yeah, if I found it funny, I might entertain you.
Probably. Well, Lord knows you have the ammo for it.
Always one on deck.
Oh, this is a good one. Any advice for me, a high-strung type A, dating a laid-back type B?
Any advice? Where do I start?
We're both type A, right? But in different ways.
Yeah, we're both type A. It's like we see a problem, we attack it, you know.
But that's also not good that we're both type A, right? So it could be...
Well, it doesn't cause a problem, though.
Do you think a type A and a type B together would cause a problem?
I don't care what kind of relationship pairing you're going to have problems.
That's
it's not
true.
going to be perfect, you know.
That's a good point.
There's this illusion about soulmates and, you know, they get along all the time.
No.
Yeah, no.
I don't even get along with myself, okay?
Find somebody that compliments you, who's not just like you, but maybe takes you out of your comfort zone. And that's a good thing. It's like, I'm more laid back and easygoing.
You are.
Where Dani
Does he
is
slow you down in a good way?
Mm-hmm.
Does he settle you?
Does it compliment you?
Does he help you calm down? Does he slow you down? Does he help you process? Parker's my anchor. I am like waves crashing in a freaking hurricane and he's my anchor. So if his type B settles you and anchors you in a healthy way, it's a good combo. But if he's a coattail rider, if you're like
that's not fair.
Yeah. You can't carry that around, because once you add kids to the mix, or a mortgage to the mix, or a career change to the mix, or pets to the mix, it's just gonna be, he's gonna sandbag you. As opposed to being an anchor that really makes you feel secure, he'll be a sandbag.
Yeah, I pull Dani back, but sometimes I need, you know, fire thrown on, like gasoline thrown on my fire,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to get me upset enough to do something about something.
Yeah.
So
opposites are good. Opposites are healthy, but every relationship, no relationship is devoid of incompatibilities or differences or disagreements or fights. Yeah. You know, you don't have to be 100% compatible. You know, like I rolled up in here wearing a hat. How do you feel about this?
And I did not.
So, you know, you don't have to be 100% compatible. You just have to love one another and respect your differences.
And celebrate your differences.
Have an anchor, not a sandbag.
I would
Okay,
not
girlfriend?
date anybody just like me.
Oh man, that'd be boring.
It would be so boring. You would be in jail.
If I dated someone like me, I would be running a heist right now. And I would be putting it on Instagram.
Let's see, we're together and we're both productive citizens.
Yeah.
Paying taxes and stuff.
Cheers to not being in prison, you know?
Or fat on the couch eating Cheetos.
Hey, whoa. Whoa, don't make decisions for me.
Do I get to pick one?
Okay, go for it.
Why is it so hard to date at 40?
Hey, I met you at 40.
I wasn't 40.
Was it hard?
Was that 40?
Yes.
I was. Oh. Man.
Was it hard?
Yeah, 40 is hard. You're in a weird point in your life at 40. It's like kind of like midlife crisis, kind of a lot going on. You're re-examining yourself and trying to figure out where you fit in with someone else's life. That's hard.
Because you've established.
If
you're 40, you're established.
You have an established career. You probably have kids.
Not necessarily, but you've established in your ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a big thing with me when I was single. I was like, man, I got to find somebody, or I'm just going to get so set in my ways. I'm not going to have room
This man didn't
for
believe
anybody
in
else.
containers. Like, all of his food was in Ziplocs.
Well,
even the runny food.
I can still argue with that. So that's still a good idea, but
it is.
you know, I'm not going to go there with you.
It's hard because you are set in your ways of existing. Your personality, your habits, your choices, your finances. It's hard. And it's hard because most of the time, and this might be a gross generalization, the people you're dating have been through a first, second, third marriage, and probably have kids already. So you're trying to...
They're bringing a lot with them.
You're trying to come into a story and add your character in. So that's a hard pull. Like, even the best writers can't swing that. You know, it's an established series. It's like on series 6 and you bring in a new main character. That's tough.
Yeah, especially since maybe you had maybe this is your second marriage. You're working on your second marriage, and your first marriage was like right when you came out of college, and you didn't really have you didn't have kids, you didn't have a career, you didn't have debt. There was nothing. You weren't carrying anything with you. Well, now when you're in your 40s, you're carrying all those things with you.
Plus
and you're
past trauma.
Yeah, and the scars that come with it. And you're also looking at what this person is bringing with them. So it's not just...
And I bet you're at that stage where you're like, no fuss, no bullshit, no sandbagging, no, like, I know what I want and I'm going to get it. Well, do you want that or do you want companionship?
Yeah, you got a checklist. I know you do. You have a checklist on everything you want and your person. Okay, reduce that to 1/3 and start dating. And you may find you're going to gain something you didn't think you wanted.
We've talked, that's how I got him. This would have never been someone that I try or date ever until I trimmed my list.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. I still have this list on my phone, and Parker, I was telling him about it when we were dating, that he checked off pretty much all of it, even the sprinkles on the cake. So you have to make sort of like a list with sub-lists. The cake itself, the bread, that has to be what you're unwilling to compromise with. So that's like maybe faith. Maybe faith is completely important to you. He has to be a man of faith. He has to not have kids or whatever. Like you're unwilling to compromise. Then you have your frosting. It would be nice if he's tall, you know? It would be nice if he's had a stable career for at least 10 years. That's your frosting. And then you have your sprinkles. He has to have a beard, you know, or he looks handsome in boots. So that's just your clothes on a Barbie. And so at 40, there are some things that you are sure of you need, and you need out of your partner. But there are also things that you are stubborn about. I had to look at my list and I had to be realistic about it. And this is age aside, 40 or not, like, is your list unrealistic? Dating is hard. No matter how old you are. No matter if you've been married before, if you have kids, if you've been divorced, if not, it doesn't matter. Social media has made it so much harder because you could just go on that app and go get someone's taco in 5 minutes. So what are you looking for?
Yeah, take your list, dial it way, way back to the bare minimum and go from there. And you may find out that you may be gaining something you didn't think you would like, but really do. Give it a chance. Get out there and date. And hey, you're 40. The dating pool isn't that big anymore. So
rude.
It's really not.
What if she's open-minded and wants to go with
pragmatic. I'm being pragmatic.
Pick another one.
Oh, let's see. How to deal with unsuccessful dates. Hey, it's just getting you closer to the guy or girl that you're going to meet that you like. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's nice. It's like when you go to the mall and you're like, I really need a white t-shirt. And you, white, not wet, white t-shirt. And you leave the mall because you didn't find a white t-shirt. It's the same thing. Just think about it. You're going to the mall, you're shopping for the perfect outfit, and you struck out at the mall. That's the same thing with dating. You just didn't find that cute outfit today. Keep trying. Don't give up. It's fun. Plus you get out of the house, you try a new place, a new restaurant, a new bar, a new lounge. You meet the city.
There's so many good questions.
Mm-hmm. Are you overwhelmed? Now you know how it feels.
Yeah.
Overthinking Anonymous. You're just gonna skate on through it? Alright, next question. This is why I pick the questions.
Let me scroll way down. You shouldn't have let me pick. Advice on how to stop emotional eating. I can't help you.
He's like the king of emotional eating. I'm pretty good at it too, though. We should get a trophy.
2,000 years later.
He's scrolling through your questions and we noticed this very common theme, which was, how do I get my husband to help more? How do I get my husband to participate in cleaning? How do I get my husband to take out the trash? How do I get my husband to not expect me to do all the house chores stuff? And that is something that, thank the Lord and thank Jesus, in his name, I found a man that is not anti-house chores, that is not unwilling to help, but I can't say that I had much to do with it. So how would you like to be addressed if I wanted you to help more around the house? How would it be successful for me to address you to get you to participate in the house stuff?
Tell me specifically on what you want me to do and when you want me to do it. I think that a lot of women maybe just want us to know intuitively.
Yeah, like the trash can's full. Why haven't you taken it out?
Well, to me, it might not be full. You know, maybe it's not quite there yet. Maybe to me, overflowing is full, and that's when I should take it out. But I think that just off the top of my head, I'll bring up one moment. It's like the recycling. It's like Dani was always taking out the recycling before I could get to it. And it was the guys, like, our job, take out the trash, right? Well, we finally had the conversation. She goes, if there's anything in the recycling, I think it needs to be taken out. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if I see something in the recycling, I'm going to take it out. Whereas before, for me, it was like the recycling needs to be full for it to be taken out. So that was an easy way for me to compromise, to make her happier and take some stress off of her and carry my half of the load when it comes to take care of the house. Because we both have full-time jobs, and just because Dani is the female of the relationship, that doesn't mean that it's her job to run this
house. Or because I work from home.
Yeah. No, that's not fair.
You know what? We actually had a huge argument, and it wasn't at each other. It was me upset. And so it was almost like a fight with myself, and his support or understanding really helped me a ton, because I was like, for 10 years, I've worked from home. For 10 years, I'm the dependable, the reliable, the plan around my time. If there's an appointment for a repair, if there's an appointment for an adjustment, if there's an appointment for something at the house, if there's a delivery, if there's a this, it automatically falls on me, because I'm home, because my time isn't important, because my schedule doesn't matter, because I'm home, I'm responsible. And I'm talking about my co-parent, I'm talking about the kids' school schedule, I'm talking about the dog's doctor's appointments. And so what Parker does now is he will book things all in one day, and he'll take that time off work and he'll be home and he'll take care of it. Because until I pointed it out, that obvious, like, I don't know why I didn't even think about it. Like, just because I work from home doesn't mean I'm accessible. Just because I work from home doesn't mean that my schedule doesn't matter. And all it took was me saying that, and not at him, but sharing with him. And now he's like, duh, I'm so dumb. Why didn't I think about that? That's not fair.
No, it's not.
Like, you work from home, but this is my office. So it shouldn't just fall on me to just take care of things. And then I just figure out when I do my work, right?
Yeah, it's like if I can get it all, if I can get a bunch of things done on one day, I'll take the day off so I can handle it. And there's always going to be things on the fringe that I can do that, and she handles it. So it's more 50-50 that way, because the home is both of our responsibility.
Be direct. Be specific.
Yes. Guys need that. I think girls...
Please take out the trash when it reaches this point. Every time.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Just do it.
On
every Tuesday or whatever.
On Thursday, it would really help for all the trash to be taken out throughout the house and out to the curb, you know? Well, guys, hey, put it in your calendar to remind you to do it. You have to be very specific and direct with the guys, I think, for us to know exactly what you need, exactly what you want.
Someone said...
You might be surprised how eager we are to do it.
To want to help, yeah. To be put in, coach, you know? Someone left me a comment and said, my toxic trait is that when I ask someone to do it, I expect them to do it in that moment. And I was like, I can absolutely 100% agree with you with that toxic trait, because if I tell someone, yeah, can you take out the recycling? But in order for me to minimize my sense of guilt of asking someone to help me, I say, whenever you can, whenever you get around to it, because I want to soften the responsibility of me giving someone a job. But you really have to say, can you take out the recycling right now? Can you take out the recycling before dinner?
Yeah, if it's important for it to be done right then, say I need it done.
Specifics.
Right then, because
always
if you
specifics.
don't, you know, we're going to think, okay, well, it's open to interpretation when it needs to be done. I got a few other things I need to do, I want to do before that, so since it's not important, I'll put it off till later.
Yeah.
By that time, you think, oh, he's forgotten.
Yeah, or he doesn't care, he's being a jerk,
No,
or
I
he
gotta
wants
do it
to
myself.
finish the round before they score another quarter pounder or whatever,
Yeah,
you know?
ladies, be specific. That's how guys work. You might be surprised at how well we respond to it.
Yeah, I agree with this. I agree from experience. My husband's way of showing support is being silent, and I want more reassurance. Do you want to share?
Yeah, I've been learning. This is a tough one for me to learn to learn it. I think I'm beginning to learn that when Dani is sad, she wants me to listen, but when she's mad, she wants me to get mad too.
In show of what's that, united front, you know?
Unity.
I want him to be my best girlfriend. And he's not doing it wrong. That's just what I like, you know? And so when I'm venting, he used to be just serious. He'd be like, yeah, rant, vent away. And for me, that's dismissive. So if I'm mad, I'm like, that did this, and this, and this. And he's just like listening, because I think maybe I'm intimidating because I'm so mad and yelling.
Well, as a guy, maybe we get afraid to throw gas. We feel like we're throwing gasoline on the fire.
And I'm like, throw more gas on the
It's like
fire.
she's gonna throw a chair out the window if I agree with her. I gotta give her another point of view, but that doesn't happen. They just want to.
We have our minds made up. We know we're gonna get over it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she should have done that. What the hell's wrong with her?
Yeah. What
You're
a
right.
jerk. You're totally right.
Yeah.
So, but I had to tell him that. He literally said, well, how do you want me to support you? And I'm like, I want you to get mad with me. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yes, because if he's mad and I get mad with him, we will commit a crime. If I'm mad and he doesn't get mad with me, I will commit a crime. But I want him to be like, yeah, that's stupid, whatever. And then I realize, I'm like, oh, that's not, I'm just overreacting.
Yeah,
That
see, and
was kinda
this actually
silly.
wraps up 2 lessons we've learned today. Is like, talk and be specific about what you want.
It feels dumb to tell Parker, like, I want you to be mad with me. Like, just rage out with me. And then he's like, really? But if you're specific, you're basically giving them the answer to the test.
Okay, next time. Yeah, you can never expect your partner to be a mind reader. We have struggled with that a lot.
It's not fair. It's so
So unreasonable expectation to think that your partner knows what you need without you ever telling them specifically what you do need.
And as a woman, you're like, well, it's rude. He should know me. No, he shouldn't. Because we're ever changing. We don't always know what we want. But if you cut and dry it, if it's like color by numbers, like he knows that when I'm mad, he has to color with red, and when I'm sad, he needs to color with blue. And when I'm happy, he needs to color with yellow. I gave him the handbook. And then he knows how to do it now. It's not insulting. It's not a reflection of your relationship. It's healthy communication.
And we had to figure that out. We didn't know it in the beginning. We had to figure it out.
I don't remember what happened. It was pretty recent that I was like, I'm going to tell you something, and this is how I need you to support me. A, B, C, and D. And he's like, okay, I'm ready. This and this happened. And he was like, A, B, C, and D. And I was like, boom, we got over it. Like that. I was very upset about something. And in that moment, it went from escalation to communication to de-escalation in that one, just full circle, because I gave him the answers to the test. Our partners don't want to see us struggle. Our partners don't want to compound on the stress or the negativity or the trauma. Our partners want to support us, but they can't do that if they don't know how.
They want to, but we have to teach each other how to do it, because we're not going to be able to figure it out on ourselves.
When he's mad and he would tell me, like, you can't be mad with me, I'm like, why not? I'm supporting you, this and he was like, no, that's risky, that is bad. And so I'm like, oh, that's the only way I know how to support people, is to rage out with them, because that's how I feel supported. But when he told me, you cannot support me that way when I'm upset, because it will turn into a big problem, I would have never guessed that in a million years. So
yeah, as different people, you're gonna need support in different ways.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's like how you receive love versus how you give love. It's totally different.
And you gotta learn
it doesn't have to be your style.
It comes from talking. Gotta talk. Sometimes it's weird and awkward.
I should be on a
embarrassing.
sweatshirt. Comes from talking. Drop the G. Talking, I would wear that. Would you wear that?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, right? Let's make some merch.
Front and back.
How about a hat? No?
I can't follow you there.
You know, the more I put it on, the more I feel like a scarecrow. A little bit? It's pretty.
Man.
Could you guys believe me if I said it was $15 at Walmart?
We gotta see
14.
that field.
12. I really like it. I'm gonna wear it. In fact, I'm wearing it out today, just so you know.
Now you look cute in hats.
Let's wrap it up. Final question, because our camera's being a jerk. Parker's point of view on the engagement and or wedding. I love you guys sending positivity your way. All they get is the girly version. So can you give us like a just simple, summarized, pragmatic version of the engagement or the wedding or both or one or the other? Like the guy's view. He's like, I regret it.
The engagement.
Oh, regrets.
I love the fact that it happened, it was just me and her, and it was in a special place, and I didn't tell anybody or ask anyone's permission.
The balls on
before I
this
did it.
man, like for real.
It felt good.
No one knew.
Nobody
He didn't
knew.
tell his parents, his kids.
The only person that knew was the jeweler.
Not even your brother?
Who sold them there. I didn't tell anybody.
How about Sam?
Nobody.
I still don't believe him. Like Sam had to have known.
Nope, didn't ask them.
Damn.
I didn't ask anybody. Nobody knew. It was between me and the
Telling
lady I
you
bought the
guys.
ring from.
Huevotes.
That was good.
You know what I mean?
No, it felt good. It felt.
I was a surprise. I was like,
would
what?
not change anything about the way we got engaged.
Yeah.
Loved it. The wedding.
I still have conflicting thoughts. It feels like it didn't even happen, huh?
Not to me.
Oh.
Definitely. I guess maybe being doing what I do for a living and it happening in a courtroom was kind of a big deal for me.
And the judge.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah, and it was all, I loved it because it was all about us. And we didn't have to worry about the cake turn out okay. And
We've already had the weddings, you
Yeah.
know, we've had the experience. I'm sorry, I'm taking over your response. Continue.
It was great because it was just completely about us, and we didn't have to worry about anything else. And there was no stress or bad feelings about who was there and what was going right and what was going wrong and people's opinions. We didn't have to worry about any of that. It was just me and her, and in that.
And in and out.
Yeah, it was exactly us. So I think it symbolized our relationship up to that point.
And I think that's a very, very good point to make, is from the very beginning, it was us. Not the kids, not social media, not our co-parents. It was us. Our fights were about us. Our, memories were about us. It was just us. It was just one of those things where second marriage, the best thing about it is that you start to realize how much influence your first marriage had from others. From society, from your career, from parents, from family, from friends, how much input you let interfere in your marriage. And for us, the second time around, it was just us. Hey, do you want to go to Vegas? Hey, do you want to go to Oklahoma? Hey, do you want to this? Hey, Parker, Wesley was recently diagnosed with diabetes and I want to jump off a cliff. I'll help you. I'll learn with you. I'll take you to the... We went and learned how to administer insulin together because he needed to know how to do it in case I couldn't. We had just met. We were a month into dating. So a relationship in its value, aside from kids, aside from careers, aside from families, should be about just two people.
Yeah.
Because everyone's gonna leave you.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
That's what you're left with in 40 years is just
Yeah.
each other.
So,
Yeah, second marriages are hard and extremely complicated, especially when you start involving family and friends. And yeah, to do it the way we did it.
he set the tone. He set the tone with the proposal, and he gave me the confidence and security to believe that it was about me and it was about us. That no matter what happened and how hard it was blending our family and how hard it is to have 4 or 6 senior pets at the same time. And his job really worries me even though I never talk about it. And my job freaks me out even though I don't really talk about it. But at the end of the day, when we have our last sunset, it's just about what we did together. Not what our parents said, not what our kids said, not how our kids treated us, not who appreciated or underappreciated us. It's just about us. And it came out of him. You know, he made that choice for our relationship because it would have been something that I would have wanted, but I would have never had the guts to ask for. You know, put us first. He did that.
Well, I wanted you to know that I chose you. And
that's exactly what you said.
No one else gets to have any input.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't you tell anyone? He's like, because it doesn't matter. Even if they say no, I still choose you.
Yeah, it comes 100% from me. You're 100% my choice.
I love you. So that's our question and answer. Why do I cry in these videos every time? Why do I cry all the time? Is it better? It's a better statement, right? Like, why do I always cry? Why do I always cry?
Usually? Have you cried before?
In these videos?
Yeah.
I always cry in these videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while since we've done one.
No, the girl talk ones. Not when you're in it.
Oh.
I always cry.
Oh, is this what's going on when I'm not around?
Yeah. Anyway, you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this Dear Dani Ladies Night In Girl Chat video with Pragmatic Parker. Anything and everything that you saw in this video, including the amazing, generous promotion from JuneShine, will be listed in the description box below.
Thanks, JuneShine.
So if you guys want to enjoy some delicious, amazing hard kombucha, there will be a link in the description box below. You can try their favorite flavors, their variety pack for 20% off. They ship nationwide.
Nationwide, that's all
Could you
over the nation.
imagine? That's like an amazing, yummy delivery to your doorstep. If you guys want to know where I got my amazing hat or this cool muscle tank, that will also be listed in the description box below.
I do look pretty sure.
But for, yeah, isn't that cool? It's a hot rod. Does it make my boobs look big?
It's like a GTO. Oh.
Just lie to me.
Everything makes you
Isn't he the best? I love you guys so much, and you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, please give me a thumbs up, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys.